Hello, Ms. Brown here. In this video, we're going to be talking about text structures and informational text. Our learning target is to explain how authors organize text and how the organization of the text contributes to the overall development of the idea of the text. Text structures, what are they? Well, different types of informational passages have different text structures. They're organizational patterns. It's how the text is put together. It helps the audience to better understand how the information is presented in a text. There are several different types of text structures, but the most popular types are cause and effect, compare and contrast, problem and solution, and chronological order. And sometimes you might hear chronological order called sequence of events. The first one, cause and effect, has the characteristics that it describes a reason and its effects. It tells what happens and it tells why something happens. There's signal words and phrases. When you're reading a cause and effect text, you will see words like effect, as a result, because, consequently, for this reason, if, then, since, and therefore. When you're reading a compare and contrast text, the author compares and contrasts two or more things. They'll tell how they're alike and how they're different. Some words and phrases that you look for in compare and contrast would be alike, as opposed to, different, in common, on the other hand, or similar. Next we have problem and solution. When a text is structured around problem and solution, it describes a problem and it tells one or more solutions to that problem. Signal words and phrases here would be effect, as a result, because, consequently, for this reason, if, then, since, and therefore. And then last, chronological order or sequence. The characteristics there, the text is in a sequence or it's in order based on time. And chrono is a word part that means time, so that's how we can remember this one. Words and phrases to help you remember chronological order text structure would be words like first, next, last, then, after, before, and later. Mostly those time order words. When you're reading in social studies and science, most of your social studies texts tend to be structured in chronological order, like your history books telling how things happen from one point to the next, or cause and effect telling why things happen. And in science texts tend to be organized with problems and solutions. Now we're going to practice. We're going to read a passage, and in Google Classroom you have an assignment. You have 2 questions you're going to answer. This passage, in the game of volleyball, players hit a ball over a long net that stretches across a court. There are 12 players on the court at one time, 6 players per team. The game of tennis is similar to volleyball in that a ball is hit over a long net on a court, but this is all the 2 sports have in common. In tennis, the ball is hit with a racket, and only 2 or 4 players are on the court at one time. Now your task. In Google Classroom, respond to the following questions underneath the appropriate prompt. And when you go on Google Classroom, you'll look for the prompt that says Text Structure PowerPoint. Under number 1, you will determine the text structure of the passage, and then beside number 2, you will explain what clues led you to determine that text structure. If you have any questions, let me know.